Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome to my Opinionated Facts, a review about Northgard. So, Northgard is a real-time strategy slash colony simulation game. You are a Viking clan that is discovering new lands and you need to kind of conquer those lands, tame and conquer those lands. You basically write the history of your colony through conquest, trading, devotion, as well as through fame. But in essence, there are actually four kind of big elements of this game. So firstly, you arrive and you start off with just like this little area over here. Then you need to start exploring to see where you need to kind of expand to and get some more resources. And then the next element of the game, after you've started exploring, is to then actually build and manage your economy. And this is quite an intriguing piece of the game because resources are very, very scarce. So if I show you so you can kind of see the faint outline. So this is about the size of a colonizable tile. So this is one, this is one, this is one, and this is one. Okay, so in my first kind of two tiles that I discovered, there wasn't any food. So there was no food in these first tiles. Then I discovered a tile with some fertile land so I could build a farm. So you can't just build a farm anywhere. So that definitely becomes quite an interesting part of it. Okay, then the next big aspect of it is well, there's multiple resources. So there's wood, there's food, there's wood, there's crowns, which you kind of get through trading. There is stone and there's iron. Okay, so wood looks like this. Well, very easily, it's forests. Stone. Oh, there's an earthquake. Oh my goodness, let's quickly repair all of this. Okay, so there's an earthquake. So see, there are random events that happen, okay, that you need to kind of take control of, and that can kind of ruin your day a little bit. That one I think can actually burn down because we're out of resources over there. So that's pretty good. Okay, so resources are, as I said, gone through that stone and then iron. Okay, so earthquake has damaged our buildings, and that's now fine. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so now you need to manage the economy. So you need to get these rates up and then let your guys survive. So you need to kind of make sure that you maintain a healthy flow of all of the resources to make sure you can survive. And the survival aspect of it is quite interesting. If you look to the kind of left corner over here, you can kind of see, and there it goes winter. So there's 3 months of winter and then the rest is kind of summer. So what happens during the winter is you consume more food, but you also produce less food, and actually wood as well, because you're using it for firewood. So you've got to contend with going into winter. That's a very interesting aspect of it because exploring and colonizing additional tiles costs more resources. So if I click on this one that I haven't yet colonized, it will cost me 140 food to colonize this tile. So so you have to maintain, and as you well, this is like a circle of stone, so you can get lore from this, but there's no food on this tile. Okay, and the same with this one. No food, no food, no food, no food. There's some food over here. So you need to make sure that you colonize in such a way that you can actually maintain a healthy balance. So, and the last thing you want to do is kind of, if you don't have enough food or you kind of think you might not make it through winter, go ahead and colonize before just like a month or so before winter, because then you might actually just starve. Um, so yes, so that management aspect of it is quite good, and it's not easy. You kind of have to kind of learn how to get through it. You don't quite know how the balance is, and so on. The next aspect of it is the war aspect of it, battle, conquest. So now you need to kind of go through through this world and kind of conquer it, right? There are numerous ways in which you can do it, but the big thing is there's a lot of these kind of spawned items. So AI spawned kind of bad guys over here, like this Draugr. Okay, so it's a half-dead evil creature that infested the islands of Northgard. Okay, so you need to kind of clean up this area and go through there, and you can keep going. So you can see there's a lot of that happening over here. Okay, the other element is there are also other clans. So as you can see, there's a clan over here, which they're not doing very well, but you also need to come and kind of basically war with them. So so that's part of the conquest. So what you can do is you can then conquer the island by defeating all the other clans, or there are some other possible options for doing it. There is a law system in which you have basically some technology advancements that you have to work through, and something like this. So increases the military units power by 15%. So we'll grab that one. Okay, that's good. So there's all kinds of technologies that you can work through. Okay. At the moment, it is only single player and this kind of skirmish kind of environment. So let's go over here and let's kind of attack these guys. Oh, and it is summer yet again. Our clan has survived. So let's go and attack these guys. That's part of the game. We need to kind of conquer, and we've got warriors, but they only have villagers, it seems. So this should be a pretty easy conquest for us, I think. I hope so. Yeah, it looks like it. Should be a pretty easy conquest. Okay, so the skirmish type of game is the only thing that's currently available. There's a campaign button, but it's grayed out in this version of the game, this early access version, and then there is also multiplayer that's grayed out, and I think the multiplayer component is going to be the most fun of them all. Okay, the good things about this game, I just love the way it looks, the little detail, the guys over here doing the battle thing, all the details of the buildings, really cool. Look at that little fire over there, this guy carrying the food. I love the way it looks. The gameplay, I think, is well thought out and quite interesting. It's quite challenging to balance the various requirements of this game. The requirement to have an army, to go to battle, to grow your village, to make sure you manage your resources. That's quite good. It's truly a game of tactics, more so than it is real strategy, because I'll get to some of those items later, but it's really tactical. So how do I need to get more law, I need to grab this spot over here because I need more food or wood or something, or if I grab this point early, if I can build up a good enough army. Oh, and we've defeated these other guys. So great, our territory is under attack, so let's rush our guys to the defense of our territory over here. Okay, so there's kind of pinch points over here. There's another clan down there, so if I can grab this area and hold the middle ground, there's all kinds of tactical things that you can do with this game. The resource management is great, and as I've discussed, it's really not easy. You need to be prepared for winter, which is tough. You need to explore and colonize and do that strategically. You can't just go randomly colonize everything all at once. You also can't colonize a spot that's not adjacent to something that you've already colonized. So it's not like you can go and grab the most strategic spot on the board. See, there's some good resources, iron resources or stone resources over here. You can't just grab that. You need to build an army, and you need to kind of manage that, defend and go into battle. So these guys are hanging out over here. They are all pretty wounded, but the thing is, with your kind of villager management, you have to select a villager and then make that villager a warrior or so on. So you need to maintain a fine balance between a number of warriors and the number of guys that actually has to produce your food and all of these other resources. So it's quite a balance to get that right. And the other thing is the exploration component is tile by tile. You would see, this is my scout over here. So he's scouting tile by tile, and it takes some time. I can't just grab my army and rush to the other side of the map to kind of kill off the enemy. It's a tile by tile exploration, and only once a tile is explored like this, I can actually send my military in there to go and do whatever, or even colonize it. Okay, so it's tile by tile exploration, and then only can. So I don't even know how strong the opponent is. All that I know is so whether this little army war band of mine is good enough, a warrior and a war chief and 3 warriors is good enough to go and fight these guys. I don't know, I can't even see them, but I can see there's a little something going on over here. Whether it's good enough to go and fight these guys, I've got no idea. But so that's part of it. So you need to balance everything quite well. You also need to keep the colony happy. So over here, so if you need to keep the colony happy in order to grow. So as long as you've got happiness and you've got enough infrastructure in the form of houses, you can grow. So at the moment, I don't have enough infrastructure in the form of houses. So I'll need to build another house. So let's grab the house. We will pop it in there. And can I make this guy a villager or something? Can I not? I cannot. So I'll grab a villager over here and I'll rush him over this way to come and build the house so that we can then grow more villagers. So see, here's now I can start growing another villager. So we get another villager every year. So you have to manage your amount of villagers in all of your professions as well as your army in that same way. Okay, it's a very fine balance. The other thing that is quite good is it is quite a quick game. You can really easily play a map like this in like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. It is quite a quick game. So in my mind, that's a very good advantage if you just want to have a quick bit of fun. It's not like many strategy games where you're going to spend hours and hours to actually finish it off. You can do it quite quickly, so that's pretty good. The bad, okay. The warfare is extremely simplistic. So there's no different types of units. Oh, well, there's a ranged units here, but that's not a warrior. It's actually a hunter. So in terms of warband, you can get a warrior. Over here, you can see warband. You can get a warrior, a war chief, and a berserker, and they're all melee units. So it's very simplistic. So as you saw me kind of beating the other guys, I can run in here with my warband and we can go into battle, right? They're all just melee. You can't do anything. There's no special abilities. You can't grab. I don't know. So what I would have liked to see is a little bit more tactics. Can I have ranged units? Is there other kinds of units? Is there mystical units? Anything that can just kind of get the tactics of the game a little bit better? Because at this point, you just kind of get your numbers and storm straight in. That's kind of how it works. And the same thing. Well, while there's all kinds of types of different funny things, kind of AI generated things over here that you can battle with, Valkyries and Draugrs, and I think there's wolves and things like that. The enemy clans have the same kind of stuff that you have. So whether you're one clan or the other, you've got the same type of warband. So there's not a lot of depth in how that works. The other bad item is quite easy to get through the entire build queue. So you can see the build queue over here. It's quite quick and easy to get through the build queue. Similar games or games that I felt was a bit similar to this was stuff like Cultures, Settlers, those kind of things. Those games have got a lot of depth in terms of getting through everything, and it's more resource management than it is actually the war and tactical strategy component of it. So I think it feels quite quick and easy to get through everything on the list. So I think there could be so much more content in this kind of game. And then it's limited in terms of strategy. You start out over here, then you have to build a woodcutter and a scout. Then the scout starts scouting. Then you need a house to make sure that you keep growing. Then you need to build a training camp so you can get a few warriors so that you can clear out any of the NPCs or something that's in here, the wolves or whatever. And so it's very kind of linear in terms of how you do it. It has to like step by step through it. The tactical component comes in with how you select to colonize, and that kind of part is very fun. But in terms of developing your colony, it feels really linear for me. Okay, so now let's get to the verdict. While there are a few issues, like I mentioned a few bad issues over here, I feel those issues are stuff that can be resolved through more content. As the game expands, this building tree can become more intense. So there can become more units. So I think this can be resolved through more content and as the game develops. Yeah, so that can definitely create some more and deeper content. The gameplay is good, and it's quite a fun tactical strategy game. The resource management is really a challenge. I mean, it looks pretty easy now because I'm just kind of loaded up something that I've already kind of solved the biggest issues with. But managing your resources and your number of people and your battle groups and actually then winning the game is ultimately quite a big challenge. It will make for a fun and quick multiplayer game. Really, I think this is where this game will really come into its own, where you battle out with some friends on a quick tactical strategy. How you need to grab the key strategic resources first. Oh, look, I just lost 400 food. So that, and as it goes into winter, so that's, see, one of those things that you just need to make sure you can deal with. Okay. So let's have a quick final thought on it. If you are into quicker tactical strategy games, this is the kind of game you should look for. A warning though, it is not banished with a military component to it. It's not as deep and with a lot of content as Banished. It's not that kind of game. It is more like a tactical battle strategy game with quite a big component of resource management behind it. So that's about it. But all in all, I enjoyed this game. It's a lot of fun, and if you're into these kind of tactical quick games, this is definitely the game for you. So I'm ExactChaos, and this has been my Opinionated Facts, a review about Northgard. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.